How can I feel depression when I could squeeze my own hand hard enough to break my own bones? How can I feel depression when I've smashed and destroyed 68 people's faces in front of me, men who thought they could test me in fair combat?
I think the idea of feeling depressed is real. I don't feel like it's a clinical disease that you catch from the sky and it can't be fixed.
Clinical depression is defined by science as a mental health disorder categorized by persistently depressed mood or loss of interest in activities causing significant impairment in daily life. Possible causes include a combination of biological, psychological, and social sources of distress. Increasingly, research suggests that these factors may cause changes in brain function, including altered activity of certain neural circuits in the brain. But according to Andrew Tate, depression is not real. But at least this definition of depression is not real. Now, whether you like him or not, Andrew Tate is a very polarizing figure and a very interesting guy. Now, I don't agree with everything that Andrew Tate says, but there's other things that I do agree with. But his take on clinical depression I found it to be very interesting. So that's what this video is going to be about today. We're going to dive into why Andrew Tate doesn't believe that depression is real. But before we go, y'all liking the new setup? I told you, 2024, we coming with it. Let's get it. Pop.
Do you think that you need to make more rich men or more rich in the heart men?
That's a very good question. And when I say rich, I teach financials because I think financials are important.
It's a tool.
It's a tool, and you have a responsibility to take care of your family. So I think that as a man, your happiness comes from feeling respected over feeling loved. And the reason perhaps you're happy now is because you have more.
And I'll stop it right there. I've always said, as a man, I agree with him. As a man, I'd rather feel respected than love. Respect is way more important to me than love, because love can fade. Love comes and go, but respect is permanent, at least in my view.
More respect for yourself because of the decisions you're making, and
Amen.
you have self-respect.
Yeah.
And I think that a lot of men, even if they have self-respect, if nobody else respects them, they're struggling. I think male depression can be fixed with respect.
I want to tap into depression. What's your thoughts on that?
I think that it's massively overdiagnosed. I say depression isn't real because I speak in absolutes. I think the idea of feeling depressed is real. I don't feel like it's a clinical disease that you catch from the sky and it can't be fixed. I feel like depression is feedback, pain is feedback, and your mind and body is telling you something must change. And if you make those changes, you will feel happier. I don't buy into the idea that it is a disease. I think it's situational, and you must change your situation and your actions and your decisions to feel better. And that's why I say it's not real. It's not a disease.
Okay, I want to interject real quick right there, and I agree with this part, right? For those that might be triggered by what he's saying, try to listen to what he's saying. He's not, in a sense, denying that it's not real. Of course, it is real. It's been proven. But I do agree in that part where it's a lot have to do with being situational, right? If you're super overweight, if you are not happy with the job that you do, with the people that you're around, the food that you're eating, the content you're consuming, that's going to make you pretty depressed. Now, not to say that there are people who are fit that are not depressed. I'm not saying that, but in most cases, when you see these things, is when you're depressed or you feel like there's a lack of something, right? You sit there and you dwell like on the past, because what depression is. It's like, damn, you're dwelling on the past, but maybe the best way is, like Andrew said, is situational. Changing your situation a bit by bit will make you feel better. And this is somebody, I've never been diagnosed with depression. I never had depression, but I have always dealt with anxiety, and what he's saying applies to anxiety as well.
I have a point of view on it. I wanted to share mine and see if it kind of matches yours,
Sure.
and if you have a viewpoint on it.
Sure.
When I grew up, I like to describe myself, and now a lot of people get annoyed about that, and they're like, "Why do you talk about myself? Because who the fuck am I gonna talk about?" Do you know what I mean? Like, I hate that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna sit there and talk about Joe. I don't know who the fuck Joe is.
Yeah.
I'm gonna talk about George.
Yeah.
George was raised. If I came home, I had a really tough childhood,
Yeah.
and that's documented. I have a tough childhood when it came to making friends. I wasn't educated. They didn't know I was dyslexic. I had a lot of problems. When I came home, if I ever looked at my mom like, "I'm depressed," she goes, "No, you're not." And she nipped it right there.
Yeah.
Stop saying that. And then I grew up, and I'm reflecting. I'm going to bring it back to the Bible.
Yep.
In the beginning was the what?
The
In
word.
the beginning was light, wasn't it? Or in the beginning was the stars, and I should know this.
In the beginning was the Word.
The word, you're right.
And he created everything with what? His mouth.
Yeah.
And everything's vibration.
Yeah.
People that don't even believe in God believe in energy.
Yes.
Okay. I think that we got to a place where if I looked at you every single day and I was somebody you cared about and was like, you're depressed, bro. You have you're anxiety. You have anxiety. I have anxiety. So if I'm telling myself this every single time I have a problem, I'm feeding myself this. Bruce Lee had a thing saying, don't joke about yourself because your body doesn't even know what's a joke or not, right? Yeah. So the philosophy that I'm going about is, are you talking it into existence? Are you, what's the word? Manifesting it.
Of course you are.
So
I don't, not that I, you know, it's funny that George is a man of God, but he's talking about manifestation, but that's not the point. But I do agree in that part as well, where sometimes when we're dealing with something, right, even with me recovering from the shoulder, if you dwell so much on it, if you focus on the bad things so much, that's all you're going to experience. I agree that our body, and when it comes to energy with vibration, if you just focus on, I'm hurt, like in my case, I'm hurt, or I'm injured. Honestly, when and throughout this recovery, there was times where I got intense, where this shoulder just starts to hurt. I don't know what. I'm more relaxed, more, you know, in tune with the world. I even forget that the shoulder is injured, still in recovery. And I'm not saying play dumb, right? Don't be aware of the things that you have, but like if you dwelled on it, like I said with myself with anxiety, if I just think about anxiety, guess what? I'm going to get more anxious. But if I take it from the perspective of, okay, I'm already anxious, what can I do? What are the little things that I can do to make myself feel better? Well, one, let me take more sun. Let me drink more water. Let me do more exercises. Let me do something fun or challenging, so it eventually takes my mind off it and it makes me more in tune with what's going on around me instead of just focusing, oh my God, I mentioned also. Well, the part that he mentioned about the parents, when his mom said, no, you're not, I know for a lot of you probably be triggering because you probably came to your parents about, hey, man, I'm dealing with this mental issue. And they didn't have the tools to tell you how to make you feel better. And they, in a way, they just shut you down. Like, oh, and you came at Mom, I'm depressed, or I'm anxious. It was like, oh, shut up. No, you're not. I know how might that feel for a lot of you. Might be a lot of triggering, but at the same time, as our parents' job is to help us and to protect us. Maybe it's a messed up way of helping, but I don't think no parent, even if their child's going through it, gonna be like, yeah, you're depressed, man, you're messed up. Yeah, you anxious, you messed up. Anyways, let's just let them talk.
I don't understand why people, they go to a therapist or they go to medication, but they won't fix their fucking mouth first.
It's so interesting you say this, because when I say depression isn't real and it's situational and you have to change your situation to feel better, people often come back to me and say, well, what about celebrities? Because celebrities live perfect lives and they kill themselves. And I argue that with the exact point you made, because a celebrity sits there, Robin Williams, I'm depressed. And instead of people sitting down with him and saying, Robin, listen.
Shut the fuck up.
Shut the fuck up. Yeah, you're as famous as you can get. You live the most privileged life you can live. You can have a 19-year-old girlfriend tomorrow. Let's find out what's making you sad. Let's go on safari. Let's see some tigers.
Or get rid of the shit that's making you depressed.
Completely.
There's no attack towards making progress. There's just trying to take the easy way out.
That's
One,
right.
Labeling myself.
Yep.
Sorry, guys. I can't do it today. I have anxiety,
Yep.
or I have depression.
Yep.
Now, mind you, there might be some people out there that actually wake up and they have a lot of things on them. I think you need to find God.
Oh, absolutely.
That's it. Because if you had a
Agreed.
God, you would know that you could cast your anxieties and depression on them.
Yep.
Now, having faith is a big thing for me. Big thing.
Yep.
If I didn't have faith, all the obstacles that I would look at, let me give you an example. When I first started the show, I was like, I don't know how, but I'm going to have this conversation with you. Yep. Now,
Amen.
fucking crazy. I came off of impulsive. Some people might not even want to do anything with me because I was the laughed at kid.
Yeah.
But I manifested and I pushed and I encouraged myself.
Yep.
I could have sat around like a pussy and be like, oh, no one's going to give a fuck about me. No one's going to do this. No one's going to do that. But if I can't care about myself, if I can't push myself,
right.
and if I can't encourage myself, who the fuck's going to come around and do that for me?
Nobody's going to care about you more than you.
Nobody.
Nobody's going to wake up each morning and go, you know what? Andrew Tate only has 53 cars. He needs a 54th car. I'm going to get up and I'm going to work hard and buy him a car. No,
Nobody.
that's my job.
Did your money make you happier? Or did it kill?
before we get to that money made him happy or not, but you are your own biggest cheerleader, right? I'm a man that believes in God. Jesus Christ is my Savior. But you do need God. You need God in yourself. You need to develop that relationship with God. But also through God, you get that strength to cheer for yourself, to when you're even listening to be careful with the music you listen to, guys, because throughout this time where I've been laid off from my job and recovering from my shoulder surgery, listening to the right music and to the right content have really kept me. Not gonna say it's kept me going, because the thing that keeps me going is my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. But like, it has not let me fall into that bad mood. And even when I fall for a little bit, I put that music on, man. I put some Larry June, or I listen to a positive podcast. And I'm telling you guys, it's not magic. It really helps me better my mood. Instead of like jumping into the dark side and just swimming in there and dwelling to the dark thoughts, man. What they trying to say is, man, you got to be your biggest cheerleader, but there's always, as you're willing to push yourself, there will always be light at the end of the tunnel.
Cause you more anxiety?
Okay, that's a really interesting question, which we'll talk about, actually. But everything you said about depression is super true. And Robin Williams, his mistake is that he went to a therapist who confirmed his bias, confirmed he's depressed. They then sat there and talked about being depressed 3 times a week for 2 hours a day. Then they put him on mind-altering drugs to make him feel better. And after 9 years of therapy, he jumped off a building. If I were to take mind-altering drugs and talk about being sad all day, every day, I'd probably jump off a building too. So it's absolutely the wrong thing you can do. And I want to make a point here, because when I talk about depression, people always defend it. I said this. I was having a conversation with somebody.
By the way, hold on. Defending what? You have depression. I have depression. But we don't sit around fucking moping about it.
But the depressed people do. This is the interesting.
So you can't get mad at us for not going in the motion that you want to go about. You're trying to say that you're getting mad at me for saying that I don't sit in my depression.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that depression doesn't exist. I'm saying that I'm not giving it flowers. Everything is a mustard seed. Yep. If you water that bullshit, it's going to fucking grow. Completely. What I don't understand is that the reap and sow is everything that anyone does. But people will reap one thing, and then when they're sowing this bullshit, they'll be like, wait, why did I get this?
Why did I get this? Yeah.
I'm like, because you were fucking, you planted this crop, but every single day you were talking about that crop.
Yep. Absolutely, completely true. And I said this many times before. I don't believe in things that take away power from me. I don't care if depression is real. I don't care if I'm wrong. I don't believe in something that takes away power from me, because I can't become depressed if I don't believe in depression. And that allows me to shield my mind from the idea of being a depressed person. I ain't
gonna lie, man, that is facts. You can't become something you don't believe in. So if you don't believe in depression, I don't think you can become depressed. I mean, I'm not trying to sound naive or anything, but same thing with anxiety, man. Like, I'm gonna lie, in the last 2 years, my anxiety's gotten way better. You wanna know why? I'm now on no medication. I don't do no meditation. I'm not doing no CBD. I don't do drugs. You know what I decided to do was, I had enough of this anxiety messing with for my whole life. I'm gonna start punching it in the mouth. I had enough. That's my shoe. Everybody, maybe Andrew's defense mechanism is to not believe in it. My mechanism is to punch it in the mouth. I'm done. Like, it's like that bully. Once you punch it in the mouth, it respects you. Like, I'm gonna punch inside you in the mouth, and I'm gonna do everything I gotta do. I'm not gonna let it ruin my life. And thank God it gotten better. I'm still a work in progress, but like, I agree with Andrew and George. I'm just not going to sit there and let it ruin my life. I got better shit to do. I got money to make, places to be, and I'm not going to let something anxiety hold me back in life.
I can feel depressed temporarily, but I can never become a depressed person, because it doesn't exist. You can lock me in a Romanian jail cell for 93 days with cockroaches. I will not be depressed. I will feel a little bit sad, of course, but I will never become a depressed person because I don't believe in it. And when I say this, depressed people are like, no, depression's real. It's ruined my life. It's taken everything from me. Depression's real. Depression's real. I said, you sound like it's promotional team. You sound like it's
their
PR
God.
team.
It's their God.
Yeah.
They're worshiping it.
You're worshiping it because it gives you a cure-all excuse for your monumental failures, as opposed to waking up and going, you know what? Maybe I'm a fuck up. Nothing to do with depression. Maybe I've just been fucking up. Maybe depression isn't real and I've just been fucking up and I should fix a few of these things.
What have I been reaping?
Absolutely. And you'd be amazed how depression will lose power over your life and lose its ability to destroy your life if you stop giving it so much respect and just wake up and say, let me fix X, Y, and Z. What can I control?
Let me clear, just in case there's some people that might not catch up to our speed. I do not believe that some people, sorry, let me rephrase this. I believe that some people are depressed every single day, but I believe that their steps into fixing that is one, first and foremost, find God immediately. Two, instead of running to somebody and expressing your problems every single day, just sitting there, just telling somebody your problems every single day, find some friends. Go to the gym. Instead of talking about your problems, talk about your goals. Talk about your dreams. Focus on something that is not negative. If there's two wolves, and I'll say this every time, I've said this a few times. There's two wolves, Andrew. One's chained up in the dark. One's chained up in the light. Which one lives?
Yeah, absolutely. The one in the light.
The one you feed.
Oh, got him.
So I could feed the one in the dark all day and it's going to live. And the one in the light's going to die.
Correct.
What are you focusing on?
Correct.
So I'm not saying that if you're depressed that it's in your head. I believe that you're putting it in your head. And I believe that you could fix this by your mouth. Start by taking actions and taking accountability for what you are saying. The people that are jacked go in the mirror. It sounds stupid, but it's true. Bro, look how fucking jacked I'm getting. Look how jacked I'm getting. And guess what? They start getting jacked. Why? Because they're motivating themselves to get in the gym, eat healthier. They consistently talk about their body. So when bad food gets put on their table, they're like, nah, I don't want this right now.
Yep.
It's all about your mouth. Your tongue is the sharpest thing in the world.
So to summarize everything, I think that Andrew does believe that depression is real, but not today's definition. At least that's what I got from the video. Same with George. It's not that it's in your head, but if you constantly beating yourself with a hammer, that depression is all I am. Like, I even seen people make that a personality, that they have depression and anxiety, and like, you're more than that. And then about the point of when you're around people that are confirming your bias, like, yeah, you're just depressed. No, man, you need people to tell you, hey, man, stop talking about this shit. Or man, let's get our heads off of that. Let's go finish that project that you told me about. Let's go for a walk. Let's go to the gym. Let's go do something positive and productive. I think that's way more important. The people that you keep around, the content you consume, of course, the food that you eat, everything, that all compounds into your mind and making you feel better. But I'll leave it here, guys. Let me know what you think. Is depression real or not? Is anxiety real or not? Is it all in our head? Is that what science says? Or is what Andrew Tate says? It's a situational. You let me know down in the comment section. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Activate the notification bell. And I'm out.